Hello everyone, Goes Keto here.
Hello, Ketonians.
We're coming with a very interesting subject today. Let's talk about dairy.
We're going to do a live on YouTube because we think it's the best way to talk about subjects which are trending, which are hot in the keto association.
Keto universe.
World, keto universe, exactly.
Definitely. Everybody wants to know what is way much better to consume on ketogenic diet, especially from dairy, because they think it's way too much restricted. But we have a great solution about it, and we're going to talk
for it.
Yeah.
Great solution for problems that ketonians usually encounter when they want to include dairy, and should they at all include dairy products in their ketogenic journey. Some people are against dairy in total. We are not. We are actually
we love it,
pro-dairy, but not all dairy.
The main problem is a lot of people made exams, made intolerance tests, but they didn't find actually they don't have any allergy. Nor they are lactose intolerant. So what's going on?
But they still have problems after consuming dairy
Yes, exactly.
products.
And we're gonna actually bring light to this, and actually we're gonna say what exactly.
Looking through the window as you are saying light, and I'm hoping there will be some more light.
So we're gonna find out what exactly caused the problem. I think it's really easy just to substitute few things.
Yeah, dairy is a little bit tricky, as if you're gonna go to Goes Keto website, and you will find an article which we call Cheese, the Ultimate Ketonian Guide to Moderation. You will see that we started the article by saying cheese is life. Really, for many people, for centuries, for millennia, cheese was life.
Definitely. So many cultures, and especially whole civilizations,
ancient Greeks,
Norse mythology, Greeks, all, I would say, Europe, with the known history included cheese.
Yeah, if you are a lover of mythology, as Apollonas and myself are, you will remember at least 3 stories about humans, gods, and cheese.
Yeah.
It's included in many mythologies, but especially in the south of Europe. It's even present in the famous Odyssey, and you can even see the movie. We gave a link for a great movie from '97 about Odysseus' journeys.
Yeah.
And you will see that his sailors had an episode trying to steal sheep cheese from the Cyclops. And, of course, see the movie, read the book, read the Odyssey, so you will find out what happened to them. But anyway, cheese was considered divine, as something divine, something that really gave nutrition and health to humans. So obviously fermented dairy products, especially if they are made of sheep and goat milk, are extremely good for us. It used to be and still are if they are organic and if they're coming from natural production.
Especially for our gastrointestinal tract, contain so many good bacteria that they're gonna replenish our microflora, and I think is one of the best foods to consume.
Yes, cheese is a treat. It's a spice to life and wonderful helper in keto baking. You, as you know, have in mind that every cheese is not your friend, every kind of cheese. There could be different kinds of cheese, and especially in today's industrialized world, the majority of cheese available to humans comes from cows' production, and it's very far away from organic and natural.
Definitely.
It has much more bad things added than those good.
We said heavily commercialized, a lot of antibiotics, a lot of I would say steroids inside, and haste with steroids to be able to
the animals actually were as we said,
to keep up this production, this enormous production of milk products.
Ketonians tend to overeat dairy. So not only ketonians, everybody tends to overeat.
Definitely.
It's delicious and it's attractive, especially if it has a lot of carbs, if it's coming from the cows.
So much lactose,
but it's from lactose. It's tasty. Well, let's face it, everything with cheese, topped with cheese and melted cheese tastes better. But not every cheese is really good for us.
Yeah,
and
they're not made equally. So
I'm going to read this part, which is really interesting from the article. We're going to go through it together. Cheese labels are tricky, and modern industry knows how to deceive you. You will often see gluten-free label on cheese. Now, should cheese be gluten-free? Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Where did the cheese find gluten? But the problem is that modern industry is often using starch, cornstarch and wheat starch to thicken this mixture for cheese, and then
thickeners.
Of course, yes, they are cheating us that way. So it's not cheese. Cheese should not be, not only cheese, creams. Those cream cheeses, especially, they contain a lot of thickeners, artificial stuff. So we should avoid those things, and we should learn how to read the labels. Thickeners are other chemical compounds. Good old-fashioned cheese product is as rare as astatine, as we wrote in this article.
That was the funny part of the article.
Yeah, astatine is an element that is so rare on this planet that there are just 30 grams in total in Earth's crust, which means it's like something, and they want also not good old-fashioned cheese to become as rare as that. So everything that comes under the label of cheese is not cheese, and it's not good for you. Especially I want to talk about cream cheese. I've seen so many recipes all around the internet which are including cream cheese. Even you can see that something happened. We just became brighter. You can find so many recipes which include a pound, half a kilo of cream cheese. People usually use this very famous brand of cream cheese, and I'm going to invite all of you to turn the packaging and read the ingredients. You will see that milk is not the only product, and the cheese culture, which are the bacteria like probiotic bacteria, which are used to ferment the milk products in order to make cream cheese. Of course, another ingredient of cream cheese should be cream or butter. You will find that those are not the only ingredients, and there are thickeners, gummifiers, emulsifiers, stabilizers.
Yeah, especially with xanthan gum and carrageenan.
Exactly, and also the guar gum. They're sometimes using. They're using so many industrial thickeners that in the end you are ending up with unhealthy products. So you 50% want to make
cheese, 50% actually you're eating additives. Ramonisa, Kalimera says, Kalimera to you from a local friendly MD here in the USA. Oh,
that's
nice.
Really nice.
I love Goes Keto, love your tweets on Facebook and websites. Keep them coming.
So
Thanks
much,
for your passion.
That means
amazing,
a lot to us, and thank you for joining us today, especially here on YouTube, especially because we're going to talk about dairy, and we would love to hear what's your opinion about it, dairy products on ketogenic diet, and we actually think that it could be really good for us if it doesn't come from bad source, and we will tell you why. We think that cow's dairy is not the best dairy humans can consume.
And
it's
I'm really glad to see an MD, a doctor, to be as friendly to low carb and ketogenic approach.
Nice
this is fantastic.
That's great. So cow's milk cheese today is just not as good as goat or sheep cheese. It's true, guys, and it's really important to talk about.
We said about the quantity, just the quantity says everything. We said we want quality over quantity.
If you are a Goes Keto visitor, as Dr. Ramon is, for a longer period of time, then you probably know we keep singing about goat dairy. There's an article about all the advantages of goat dairy, why goat dairy is on the throne of keto nutrition. So please check that article at Goes Keto. There are a lot of links to scientific studies also, which are proving that goat could be the best dairy humans can still consume in any form, even just raw dairy, raw milk.
And we're going to explain later why. This is the main reason to separate these things into categories. While we're going to compare cow's milk, sheep milk, and of course goat milk.
We will also touch a little bit bison milk, which is
buffalo.
Still buffalo bison milk, which is still available to humans in some forms, especially in some countries such as Italy, where mozzarella is produced only with bison or buffalo milk. So the fact is, cow's milk is overproduced, industrialized, hormone-aided, and it's full of lactose. And the worst thing of it all, it has A1 casein. So A1 casein is different from A2 casein, which is present
these
in goat
big caseins,
dairy.
they are similar, but you can see the difference, A1, A2, what's going on. We said all milk products from cows contain A1. We don't want this. This is the main problem that a lot of people have. They don't have allergy, they are not lactose intolerant, but they have problem with cow's milk products. Why? Because it contains A1 casein.
So A1 is in cow's milk today. There were some ancient cows in the old times when, especially in the southern part of Europe, which actually gave milk with A2 casein, but they almost do not exist anymore. So the majority of industrialized cow's milk products are containing A1 casein, and this is the main cause of it's widely present in cow's milk, as it's written here in the article. It's promoting inflammation and poor digestion. This is the main reason we keep asking ketonians to switch to goat, sheep, and buffalo dairy for optimal health. Goat, sheep, and buffalo milk contain A2 casein, which is not inflammatory. It's less likely to cause digestive problems than A1 casein found in today's modern cow's milk. So when we say milk, we also mean all the other products.
Yeah, of course.
So why we never made fathead dough? I want to talk about this a little bit more because this is extremely popular dough in keto baking world. All around the internet, you will find recipes for pizza, for crusts, for many things.
Way too much, fathead dough.
Fathead dough. So when you hear fathead, you say, okay, I'm going to eat more fats. But we have to understand that fathead dough contains in some recipes even a pound of cheese, of mozzarella made with cow's milk, which is the typical cheap mozzarella available in supermarkets, mainly in the USA, because this recipe actually was invented in the USA. And I think it was a wrong idea. And let me read it to you why we think it's a wrong idea. First of all, we don't support the usage of microwave oven. And you can find an article at Goes Keto why we are so much against the usage of microwave oven. As you might know, every microwave oven has a magnetron,
yeah.
Okay, a tube in which electrons operate on magnetic and electric field to produce a microwave radius of approximately 2,450 megahertz, or that would be 2.45 gigahertz. So this microwave radiation influences the molecules in the food, the molecular constitute of every ingredient.
I think you're nuking the food,
So whatever you put in your microwave, in just 1 second, it's changing the polarity from positive to negative for how many times you think? Million times per second. So imagine 1 million times per 1 second of microwaving something. And when we talk about 90-second bread, or 90-second whatever,
mug, whatever
how many
call it,
millions the polarity of your molecules
you have a small Chernobyl at your home.
Exactly.
This is it. This is what's going on. You are using low quality cheese like cow's milk, which is full of hormones and antibiotics. because we said real mozzarella is from buffalo milk, has expiration date 7 days, and you're using something called as labeled as mozzarella.
Labeled, but it's not mozzarella.
And you are putting it in a small nuclear reactor, and you have some super unhealthy pizza dough.
Not only pizza dough, they're using it for many variations, trying to ketonize those doughs. So,
pasta or whatever, they're coming up with some ideas. I made keto pasta, for example, eat it, and it's really, really unhealthy, guys.
So you're going to be using half a kilo of mozzarella in your dough, and then you're going to top it with another cheese. How much cheese you're going to use? It's way too much. And as we said already, it's very unhealthy because it's industrialized, full of industrial additives, and it's not as natural.
And all this bloating in the stomach, stomach aches, especially the intestines, they're going to be destroyed, especially from this A1 casein. When it's going to reach the small intestine, it's going to be a mess, believe me.
So modernization, just a moment, I skipped one part. If you will use the cheese in your dough, and all the recipes call for a lot of it, we are talking about fathead dough, you will exceed the healthy amount of cheese per serving. Furthermore, if you will also use the cheese on topping or filling, how much cheese will you use? Why waste the perfect cheese if you started with a perfect one? That's the big question. As a binding agent in your dough, when you can prepare just about any crust dough with gelatin or psyllium. As you can see at Goes Keto, we have several recipes for pizza crust, for pie crust, and some other doughs, such as the one we use for tiropita, for
all these traditional Greek recipes that
the latest one
require
remind me the latest one which we actually ketonized, bugazza, exactly. So
a lovely recipe, yeah.
It's made with psyllium, just 1 tablespoon of psyllium. It will work.
Many people actually made the recipe. It's quite easy and really, really healthy compared to this new food.
Yes, exactly, compared to fathead dough. So moderation is the queen, actually. You need to moderate the intake of cheese. Doesn't matter what kind of cheese you are using, even if the healthiest cheese, which will be, we will later go through our recommendation, what are the healthiest cheese you can have, cheeses. But let's talk about how to read the labels. Here's a great tip. Learn what natural cheese has to contain. And then any product that has more than that should not earn your money. You shouldn't give your money for products which contain so many industrial additives that in the end you're ending up with unhealthy product, the product which can cause you many issues, not only with digestion, but general health and with weight loss. It can cause the plateau, the famous plateau, which some ketonians
you're gonna stall eventually,
if the producer has placed all their effort to create a product that has been used and transported by ancient people for millennia, then they deserve your money. But if the industry goes to the pharmaceutical department to borrow some ingredients for their cheese, just to get a longer shelf life, they are cheating, and their product should not find a place in your clean and healthy keto kitchen. You shouldn't waste your money on products which are full, and they are usually cheaper, but in the long term, this turns out bad for you and can
leads to another way,
lead you to the pharmacy or to the
doctors,
you will have to visit the doctor after consuming so much cheese on long term with additives, industrial additives. The healthy cheese should contain only 3 ingredients. That would be original milk, preferably goat or sheep milk, organic, and then just the probiotic, the starter culture, which is used to create cheese, and sea salt, preferably sea salt. If not sea salt, then any kind of salt. But sea salt,
not any kind of salt, because we don't want the table salt, which is refined, processed. We want Himalayan salty. I don't think so that anybody uses Himalayan salt.
Well, if a producer is making cheese with only 3 ingredients, then usually it's going to be sea salt or Himalayan salt. So here we come to top 5 cheeses recommendation by Mr. Greek Goes Keto himself. So number 1 on the throne of any cheese in the universe is goat feta. Yes, you will have to search
fermented
for goat feta. Healthiest kind on earth, here we say. Feta is extremely rich in calcium and vitamin D. The protein alpha-lactalbumin even has anti-cancerous properties. So there's a link here in the article.
So many minerals, so many vitamins, and good macronutrient profile. As I said, and in my Greek channel, you don't have to eat a brick of feta cheese, but you can eat 3 times per week. 30 to 50 grams is, I think, more than enough to have a taste of cheese and something really, really quality.
Use it as a spice.
Yeah, and I would say use it wisely. This is it.
Number 2 is aged goat or sheep cheese. Aged cheese, it started with better kind of milk if it's with goat or sheep milk. After aging, has more fat and it has 0 lactose, which means 0 carbs. And it has all the beneficial minerals and vitamins. We gave you a link to an article which explains perfectly why aged cheese is actually best cheese for you, and especially if you are choosing goat aged cheese. We also gave a link to a study that proves that aged cheese provides longevity. This is also interesting.
Yeah.
So you can find the link in our article. Buffalo mozzarella is number 3. So we spoke about buffalo.
Yes.
It's also A2 casein, which is interesting because buffalo is a cousin of cow.
It is, but
gives much less milk.
We're talking about cows. We said that southern cows, for example, south of France, northern of Italy, not Germany, not Netherlands, countries that are really north of Scandinavia, the cows are way much smaller and produce 8-2 casein.
They used to,
but now they don't exist because they mixed. Northern cows are huge compared to southern cows, so you can see the difference. We're talking about even 200 or 300 kilos difference. So when they mixed these animals, we lost the A2 casein there.
That's what happens when you mix.
It contains, don't think that it doesn't contain A2, the cow's milk product, but it's dominant the A1.
So the most quality mozzarella in the universe is made of buffalo milk. And that's the only kind of mozzarella you will find in Italy. So Italians, they don't believe in cow's mozzarella.
No.
So they invented this cheese. We should trust them.
As Greeks don't believe in
mozzarella.
cow's feta. It's the same thing. Yeah, traditional things, original, authentic.
Has to be made of buffalo milk. The taste is creamier. It's higher in fat, which is really good.
Delicious. I would say it's delicious. Yeah, we love it.
So if you can find mozzarella imported from Italy, made of buffalo milk, definitely buy it. Treat yourself with something which is original, traditional, and which will give you good nutrients, which will not cause any problems with casein. So fresh goat cheese is number 4, and I think it's really good to use it more often because fresh goat cheese, if you can find it, can be also made at home. So if you can find goat milk from a farm somewhere nearby, you can make fresh goat cheese. We gave you the article and we gave you the link to a tutorial how to make fresh cheese at home. You can use it within 3 days. That's best because fresh cheese always has short expiration date. But imagine you will be making something at home. You will be making something your own, which will be more organic, than just food.
Natural, without stabilizers or any additives. I think it's
it's extremely tasty.
It's a healthy treat for you and your family.
So the only cheese actually which we occasionally recommend from cow's milk would be mascarpone. Why? Mascarpone contains more butter than you could believe. It's basically butter and cream, so it's
original mascarpone always.
Totally keto friendly. So
not this diluted mascarpone they're selling. Usually mascarpone needs to be really, really thick natural thick,
Because it's
without
almost
all
butter.
these thickeners like
some
carrageenan
Italian
we talked.
varieties of mascarpone contain up to 70% fat. This is almost a butter. So this is why mascarpone creates a great dessert.
Yes, but what we said
dessert.
that you can make mascarpone at home, just 50% butter and 50% cream. If you can find goat or sheep butter and cream, that's gonna be awesome. But you can mix just cream and butter and have mascarpone.
If, for example, we got
cheaper.
a lot of questions from people from Greece, they cannot find sour cream in Greece.
Yeah, it's not.
So what you can do in this case, you can simply mix goat yogurt with mascarpone, and then you will get a great sour cream. It's a great trick to actually combine these two keto-friendly.
These yogurts contain zero carbohydrates because they're so fermented that you can feel how sour actually they are in taste. And it's pretty much close to kefir, I would say.
Another thing about dairy in general, a lot of keto recipes contain heavy whipping cream. Now let's talk about heavy whipping cream a little bit. Heavy whipping cream, usually, if you're going to buy it in a supermarket and you're going to turn the packaging, you will notice that it contains carrageenan. It's a beloved stabilizer of food industry, which is not very healthy and not very good for you, especially not for every day. Many people are using heavy whipping cream in their coffee. Now, this is a very bad choice because this means you're consuming it every day. It's not about the carbs. It's not about casein and lactose. Guys,
doesn't have to do anything
about carrageenan. Try to avoid this industrial stabilizer.
Not to mention if somebody has a problem with their guts, their intestines, it's gonna be disastrous, I would say, to consume all these stabilizers.
A great substitute here would be mascarpone, because if mascarpone is coming from Italy, if it's imported from Italy, what's a great thing about Italy? We are Goes Keto, but we're praising Italy now because
praise our neighbors. They have really quality products and they protect their authentic
their
products.
Their Ministry of Agriculture and of Food has this rule that no Italian product can be made with some new methods, with adding additives, industrial stuff. It has to be made traditionally with old-fashioned methods. This means only butter and cream can end up in mascarpone. So if you are buying mascarpone imported from Italy, and that's the best mascarpone you can buy, then you can use it in anything you would otherwise use cream, and you will have less carbs. You will have a little bit more fat, which is good on your ketogenic diet.
Definitely.
And you will be 100% sure that you are consuming something good, organic, and made old-fashioned way. So try to find this product. I know it's difficult if you're living somewhere overseas, Australia, America, United States, or even South America. It's very difficult to find it. But search the market and also see, maybe somebody is selling those products online.
Yeah, I think this
especially goat cheese. For example, in our article, we gave a link to a farm somewhere nearby New York in the USA, which is producing aged goat cheese, organic aged goat cheese, and it's also delivering online all around the USA. So you can find a link. We actually are not affiliated. We have nothing to do with this farm. We just found them. Online, we saw that they are producing organic, and they are also preferring goat.
Yes.
So we recommend a simple search. The internet will give you a lot of information about organic products. So if you're going to put an emphasis on goat and sheep dairy,
anti-inflammatory, guys, that I want to say that these foods are anti-inflammatory. If you're gonna have to consume something close to sheep or goat, or even if you can find buffalo milk products, not cows anymore.
Ideal would be if you are having any problems with dairy products. For example, if you're lactose intolerant, if you're lactose intolerant, there's a great thing about goat milk. It almost doesn't contain any lactose. Coconut, almond, and all other nut-based milk cannot compare in nutrients with the real dairy.
You don't have the nutritional density.
So forget about all the variations where you can.
We made another video and we talked about eggs and why we compared hen eggs with quail eggs and why you should consume more quail eggs, because the same rule applies here. Quail eggs, like goat cheese, sheep cheese, they are anti-inflammatory. We want this kind of foods in our diet, maybe not daily if you cannot source it or you cannot find it anyway. But you should try these foods, and you're gonna see that you're gonna feel way much better if you have had or have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or ulcers, or any kind of digestive problem that is, generally an issue.
So there are many benefits of switching to goat, sheep, and bison or buffalo dairy. And especially if you, for some reason, have been diagnosed with any kind of intolerance or allergy to dairy, then you can try goat, sheep, or
I would recommend somebody to perform an intolerance test. It's gonna prove maybe really helpful, because you can avoid a ton of foods, especially today with these tests. You can find out up to 250 foods if you have intolerance or something. So it's going to be really helpful for your diet to avoid several things.
That would be it? Okay, so let's finish today with a really great quote from Goes Keto, which we keep repeating. Stay ketonized to the full potential. Try to stay keto Mediterranean as much as you can, because we think this is the healthiest keto that anybody can live. And dirty keto didn't bring good results almost to anybody. I don't think anybody had
maybe you're gonna have the first couple of weeks, because
long-term healthy keto,
you could risk
clean keto,
the trash, the rubbish, but actually after that you went to a healthier, let's say, lifestyle, but you are keep eating unhealthy. So it's a matter of time until you're gonna have not results anymore.
Okay, that would be it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys,
for watching us and supporting us. Don't forget, we are also on Facebook, we are also on Twitter, on Instagram, so you can find Goes Keto in all these places. But Pinterest, here on YouTube, you can find many recipes and videos.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys.
Yes, exactly. So thanks, and see you in our next video.
Bye.